Hey, welcome to the Elle Russ Show, where we explore ways to get healthy, wealthy, and wise. With a combination of guest interviews and solo episodes, I hope you will be inspired and motivated to become the best of whatever you are. I'm Elle Russ, #1 best-selling author and subject expert with over a decade of helping thousands of people across the globe. Visit my website, elleruss.com, to learn more about free guides, masterclasses, online courses, and more. Enjoy the show. All right, so primal instincts. Some people, I talk about this in my second book, Confident as Fuck, where some people might think that I've been, at least some of my friends, might think that I've been a little rough on strangers who tried to bully me. But this is sort of how I roll. If you're a stranger and you try to bully me, I will absolutely engage my primal instincts to protect myself. That doesn't mean I'm going to launch at you physically, but I'm going to probably launch at you verbally. So only a couple of strangers in the past decade have experienced this, and of course, they instantly regretted it. Now, with those incidents, I have not for 1 second regretted standing my ground and confronting those bullies. So in fact, to this day, whenever I think about those incidents, I'm so proud of my confident as fuck self. These moments in standing up to bullies, okay, they fuel my sense of self-worth, my sense of self-esteem and self-confidence still. Because I can tell you right now, if I didn't stand up for myself in those incidents, I would be regretting them and replaying them in my head about how I wish they went. If you think about it from an ancestral perspective, right, the most capable, dominant ancestors, they prevailed and won favor among the group because it was a daily game of survival. You needed to be valued by the tribe. You needed to be counted on, right? So even in our modern day, no one counts on the person who cowers in the face of dominance or who cowers in the face of danger, right? When you were in a school athletic scenario when you were younger, you didn't choose the team of the least capable, not a chance. You picked the most confident players for the better chance of winning. So primal skills like defending ourselves, standing our ground, speaking up should not be suppressed by these modern spiritual teachings, right? So when modern spirituality, which look, I'm spiritual, it often encourages like peace, love, understanding. We get that. But it's equally important to recognize the value of our primal instincts. They've been ingrained in us through thousands, millions of years of evolution. We've been evolving for 2.5 million years. And these primal instincts helped our ancestors survive and thrive in a harsh world, no different now. So confronting bullies and protecting ourselves, it taps into this like fundamental aspect of our nature. We're embracing these instincts. It's a reclaim, like a sense of empowerment, assertiveness. It's not about seeking unnecessary conflict or, just like randomly promoting violence. It's about recognizing that self-defense is vital for our overall well-being, inside, outside. Look, in our world, confidence is highly regarded. Okay, so standing up to bullies becomes an opportunity to showcase your strength, your resilience, your determination. It's a catalyst for personal growth. Each time we confront a bully, we become stronger. We're more self-assured, more capable of navigating life's challenges. So when spiritual teachers and teachings advocate for peace and nonviolence, yes, but it's important to strike a balance between our spiritual development and acknowledging the primal aspects of our nature, because suppressing our instinctual responses entirely can really lead to a disconnection from our innate wisdom. It'll hinder our personal growth. So this is not all about like someone bullies you and you're just like, I'm just going to take deep breaths. I'm going to be the bigger person. If you feel better about that later, that's good, but usually people don't. And I don't know that that's taking the high road sometimes. Sometimes you do have to just leave and not say anything, and sometimes it's not worth it. I talk about choosing your battles wisely. But sometimes these primal instincts of speaking up, some of which may not be peaceful and loving, are the stepping stones to becoming the best version of you, to being the most confident. Have you been pushed around lately? Is there a situation you would like to replay that you wish could have gone better? I've thrown some of these out in the past, but there are a few things. Like bullying sometimes is a little indirect. So sometimes, like for example, if someone's pressuring you on questions, like um, say someone asks you a question and it makes you feel very uncomfortable, and let's say it feels invasive, which again could be kind of a form of bullying. But let's just say it's just an invasive question. This is where I always say you go on offense, not defense. So you can just take a deep breath and you can go, am I about to defend this? And is it worth defending? Or is this just a rude thing I need to call out? So if someone asks you a personal question, um, it could be anything that you find invasive, but I'll think of an example. One example someone gave once was, let's say I had a son that died and someone said something like, oh, are you a parent? And I said, no, but I did have a son. He died. And they said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How did they die? Now, honestly, I don't know that I would care, but maybe it's a very traumatic, awful fucking thing you don't want to relive. Either way, it could be invasive to a person for a stranger to ask something like that. So instead of answering or feeling weird about it, you put the question on them. Why do you want to know? Why are you asking me that question? Why do you want to know the answer to that question? Why are you asking me that question? That right there in that tone says, fuck you, don't ask me that question. You can call it out even harsher. You could be like, I think that's a rude question to ask, and I'm not going to answer it. Okay, okay, that's very direct. But you could just be like, why do you want to know the answer to that question? Usually they're gonna be like, oh, I mean, sorry, I was just curious. Never mind. So that could be a form. Again, you're always think about offense versus defense in these situations. Someone says something really rude and snarky to you. I don't know. They could call you anything, call you a name. Maybe they say something about you. You know, you always do this. You're such a that. Right. Something like that. Instead of defending yourself, you could be like, that's a shitty fucking thing to say. You want to clarify that? Do you see what I'm talking about? You can let people run roughshod all over you and fucking barrel all over you. You can call it out in the moment. Usually, again, I say this all the time. When someone's being a bully, even if people aren't generally bullies, but they're being bully in that moment, because everyone has that capability, you call out the bullying. It's offense. You're not defending what the bully is throwing your way. That's weak, and that's allowing them to make you feel a certain way. You're turning it right back around. What kind of fucking thing is that to say to somebody? You want to go into detail on that for me? And maybe they will. Maybe they'll keep going on. That's fine. You can exit the conversation. You can do a bunch of things from there, but don't sit there defending yourself. If someone were like, I don't know, no one would call me lazy, but yes, they might. But let's say someone did, and clearly, like, I'm not lazy, right? So if someone called me lazy, I still would be a little bit like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm the least lazy person in the world, right? I do this, I do that. But I'm not going to sit there and tell them that. I'm going to be like, what kind of fucking thing is that to say to someone? And what made you say that? And what makes you think I'm lazy? I'd love to hear all of your reasons. Oh, no, I was just, yeah, right. Because it's like not true. But even if it was, let them go off. Afterwards, you feel good about that. You feel good about saying all these things to me right now. You know, there's so many things to do here. You can call it exit. I'm not going to get into this with you. I think that's really rude. You just suggested that. Maybe you can just think a minute about what you just said to me. But there are ways to call it out to not fucking engage. You can call, leave. You know what? That was so freaking rude. I hope you take a minute to think about what you just said to me. I'm not going to continue with this conversation anymore because you just hit me with that. And it's not going to go a good place if that's the energy we're bringing. Because that's what's happening in that moment, right? That is the energy. You do feel it. Call out the truth of the moment for you in a confident way, in an offensive way, not offensive, offensive way. The one of the stories that I tell, sorry if you're going to hear it again here, but the story I tell is when I told someone asked me what I did one time, and I said I was a writer. This is, by the way, a stranger. And the first thing out of their mouth, verbatim, word for word, was, well, I might have a couple words off, but essentially it was, okay, so are you like a real writer who makes money at it, or do you like write at Starbucks and then like have another job? Now, I know when you heard that, you were like, what the fuck? Who would say it's so rude? So someone I knew said, oh, I would have pulled my book out and been like, I'm a number one best-selling author. And I was like, nope, see, that's the wrong move. That's not the confident move. That's oh, let me defend myself and prove to you why you're wrong. Instead, what's the first thing you listening to this thought? What a rude jerk. That's what I addressed, not the substance of his question. So, not the direct answer to his question. So my response was, that's fucking rude. Would you go up to a real estate agent and say, well, do you just have your license, or do you actually make money selling houses, or do you like have another job and like live at home? No, they were like, okay, but that's different. No, it's not different. I said, but thankfully for people like you negative naysayers, every time you come at me with something like that, you just propel me to more success. So now notice, I didn't tell him I was a number one best-selling author. I don't give a shit whether he knows that or not. I don't care. I'm confident as fuck. I don't give a shit whether you know that or not about me. And I also don't need to prove it to you because I just fucking stun gunned that guy in his place. And maybe he'll think about it next time. If not, either way, he didn't get to me. He didn't get me scrambling over here. Let me prove to you, dear stranger, that you're wrong. I actually do make money. See how fucking gross that is, right? You don't want to be in that. Now, to this day, I love that I said that. I love that I said that. I'm so happy about that. Not only is it a good example, it continually, to this day, fuels my confidence. Continually fuels my confidence every time I think about it. Now, the person who suggested that I pull out my book and be like, hey, I am a number one best-selling author, actually, motherfucker, that kind of vibe. When I told them what I did say, they were like, oh, shit. And I was like, yeah, let's turn the tables. Sometimes the tables need to be turned. So, I posted something not too long ago in my stories because, well, there was a sad documentary on Max called Quiet on the Set. You might have heard about it, about some childhood abuse on Nickelodeon kids shows. And I was thinking a lot about this because, and not the abuse. And forgive me, I forget their names, but there was a young actor who had been on the show as a kid. His mother started to notice that stuff was wrong and she was speaking up, but the son was almost like, hey, mom, don't make noise. Like, I love this job. Let's not get in trouble. And of course, as you can imagine in Hollywood, you've got some coveted series regular on a kid's show and you're a kid and like, you don't want anything to ruin that. And a lot of the parents, ignored some things too because this is money. Maybe they're paying for the family, whatever. But this mother did not. And she just said, like, she spoke up too much, not too much, but she spoke up enough. And then I think she said she pulled her son out, or they didn't ask him back. Anyway, at the time, her son really blamed her for this, as any like young kid would, not knowing. And then all this truth comes out all these years later, and the son realizes that his mother actually protected him, that what she did was the best thing for him, that she didn't try to ruin his career, that she actually was afraid or worried and had a bad gut about what was going on. And then I think he realized now as adult, understanding what had happened to these other children, that he might have just dodged major bullet by the thing he once blamed his mom for, right? But the reason I bring this up is she was being interviewed and she goes, listen, I don't know if this means anything to you, but I'm a Leo. I'm a lion. And I'm happy in my cave licking my nails, but I have nails. And I just laughed my ass off. First of all, I am a Leo, but it's very true. I'm not looking for trouble. Okay. Not looking for trouble. In fact, it takes a lot for me to get super offended. But if you come on me, you step up on me, right? The claws are going to come out. Now, Obviously, I'm, not talking about scratching someone's eyes out, but that is the claws coming out or me going on offense or me saying to that guy, that's a rude thing to say. Or you saying to someone, hey, why would you want to know the answer to that question? I'm curious why you want to know that. Why are you asking me that? You are not obligated to answer. And when it's an uncomfortable question, you can go on the offense. That's the move. So the next time you're faced with a bully, an uncomfortable situation, someone dominating over you, just still kind of bullying you, remember, it's not about defending yourself. It's about nurturing your self-worth and your self-esteem and confidence in the long run. Embrace your primal instincts by standing your ground, speaking up. And then these experiences become stepping stones on your journey, right? Because, like I said, and the reason they're stepping stones is an example I just gave. I'm still fueled by the fact that I told that guy what I told that guy when he asked me what I did for a living. I feel better about that than him knowing he was wrong and I'm actually a #1 best-selling author. And if that doesn't make sense to you, take my confidence masterclass. Check it out. It's a mini version of my ultimate confidence course. My ultimate confidence course is really fun. It's 14 plus hours. You get a copy of my book. It's so inexpensive. I've got Tanya Dyer, Cindy Lou, Lauren Martinson in there. There's some good people, great stuff to encourage you. So this is just one aspect of embracing those primal instincts. But here's the last thought on that. I would rather get my ego punched than my face. Sometimes you don't speak up. Okay, if you're in danger of physical harm, maybe that's not the move. Maybe it is. I'm talking about these sort of everyday, non-violent, confrontational situations. Also, Confident as Fuck is an audiobook version, and I do read it. People love it. If you'd love to get a copy of the book first to encourage you, jump in on that. And also reach out to me, Elle@elleruss.com. If you've got a subject you'd like me to speak about on a podcast, one of these solo episodes, let me know. And if you haven't already, I would so appreciate it if you could write a review on Apple or Spotify podcasts. Really helps. All right, everyone, I'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this show, I would so appreciate you leaving a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And to learn more about partner discounts on amazing products, visit elleruss.com/discounts.